Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from the internet. I'm so excited to be back here with y'all again for another beautiful Tuesday, or whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, evening, or night. Congratulations for tuning in. I don't know why I said that, but anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Now remember, if you want to answer this week's Reddit question, you can go and listen in Spotify. You don't need a membership, and you can click the description of the episode, and in the description in the mid right, there's an icon. I think it's in the mid right or bottom right. There's a white icon that says reply, and you can reply to the week's question, and then you will be notified when your response is published. So, again, welcome and thank you all for tuning in. It's great to have each and every single one of you here for this wonderful occasion. So, without further ado, why don't we get into and see the responses from last week's episode? So last week's episode was, what is a genuinely terrifying fact? So the first one comes from the Green Changeling. Someone somewhere is doing something. That is eerily. You know what is a terrifying fact for me? But maybe not just it's a terrifying fact, but a terrifying thought is like, I always, if you've ever left a really creepy place, just a place that just had a sense of eeriness to it, I always think about the thought of like what's going on back there, like after I've left, like what is happening there? Like, are the ghouls meeting? Like, are they, what's happening inside of there? What demonic sort of shit is going down? Another one comes from Stressed Human. What's up, Stressed Human? I work in a memory care facility and I'm around a lot of death, and one of the residents told me that every time you blink, a baby is born, but at the same time, somebody dies. Well, that's a great way to get started on this week's episode, is every time I'm going to blink, I'm going to think about people dying. That's just awesome. And the last one comes from the Dopic. I think it's the Dopic. I'm still trying to remember how to pronounce the name, but I have a bunch of stuff to say today. This was commented on YouTube. Also, I keep forgetting to mention this, but if your comment doesn't fit enough in Spotify, go to my YouTube channel. It's Reddit Asks Us on YouTube, and comment it under the YouTube video because it just gives you more length to respond. I keep forgetting to mention that. So he says, I have a bunch of stuff to say today. My facts are, we are either completely alone in the universe or aliens exist. It's one or the other. There is no middle ground. That's true. Number 2, you could have made a decision at any point in your life that saved your life and you'll never know. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool fact. But also, you may have made, this is a terrifying fact. You may have already made a decision that will seal your fate. And maybe you'll die. But you've already made that decision, but you don't even know it. It could be the fact like who knows, maybe you just didn't eat breakfast this morning and this is going to cause a chain reaction down the line of different events. And then who knows, maybe because you didn't eat breakfast and you're hungry at a different time in the day, that could have led up to your death. You'll never know. Next one. Oh, sorry. He says, or they say, sorry, I don't know the gender. You were talking about near-death experiences today, and I wanted to share my story. One day, my friends and I were walking to the bus stop. At one point, we had to cross the street. My eyes glitched, I don't know how to say it correctly, and I thought the light had turned green when it was still red. So I crossed, and literally every one of my friends grabbed my collar and yanked me back. A second later, a semi blared by. Had my friends not paid attention, I would not be here today because that truck was going way too fast to stop or swerve in time. Or if you would have been alone. Like, if you think about it, if you would have been alone and totally thought that light was, like, that's insane. Damn, that's a wild story. Whew, you just dodged the bullet of death. That's wild. All right, why don't we hop into today's episode? So we got a fun one this week. I don't know if this one's going to charge up too many replies and responses because it's a pretty specific question. And don't feel bad if you can't respond. It's all good. No worries. You can always respond to some of my older episodes. Maybe I can read those out loud. And I was going to say this too before I hop into the episode was... I don't tend to read, if you reply to an older episode, other people will see it, but I tend to not read those ones out on the next week's episode only because I the way that it's structured on my end for like publishing them, I don't always remember which episodes it was that had new comments. I just go off the very last one. So, but I do see your responses and I will publish them. And it's cool to still see people responding to older episodes. But anyways, this episode is, what is the most absurd reason you've heard of someone canceling their marriage? So the first reply comes from Big Titty Goth GF. Bride canceled the wedding a week before because she was a hardcore Disney adult and was offered a temp job at Disney and felt she couldn't miss the opportunity of her dreams. This is the what is I don't even have, like, what am I supposed to say to this? Like, there's just no justification you can have for possibly leaving your wedding. This is Disney adults is certified insane. Okay, I think Disney's doing something. There's something going on here. Sir, there's like a MK Ultra thing happening here. Like Disney adults are not regular adults. Okay, they're just not regular people. They're susceptible to some, I don't know, like subliminal messaging that they get when you watch Disney as like a young child. And now they're like Disney soldiers. Like, they're going to defend Disney till the end of the fucking world. Like, if Disney somehow gets behind a nuclear bomb, they will be the soldiers fighting for Disney. They're going to be like in the SpongeBob movie when Plankton puts all those bucket caps, like helmets on everyone, and then they start joining Plankton's army. Like, those are Disney adults. These people are certifiably insane. I think we should be looking out for more of these people. You should report them to your local police. All right, report them to the local police. Just say we've got a Disney adult in the area. We need to like do this like they have the registry for like sex offenders. It's like the Disney Register Disney Adult Registry, Disney Adult Offender Registry. And if you're a Disney adult or know one in the area, we should know about them, because these aren't normal people. Okay, if you so much as say that a Disney film is not good, they may do some horrible things to you. They may do some things to you that, geez, I don't even know if they would have done back in the medieval times. The amount of torture that these people will put you through. Reply from Sunshine030209. Why couldn't she get married and do the temp job? Fiance didn't approve, conflicting dates. Disney only wants single women working their temp jobs. Like, yeah, I don't see how this is incompatible. Like, and it's a temporary job. This isn't even a permanent position. You left your future husband for a position that's not even permanent. Like, what is this going to, it's going to put my foot in the door. For what? You're working at the Harry Potter ride. Like, what door are you getting your foot in? Like, I don't think I see the connection in your mind. I think the only door you're putting a foot in is you're letting the door slam on your marriage. That's for sure. Next one comes from Rocky Road Ice Cream Love. That's an interesting name. My Italian uncle canceled his wedding because the bride's family, not Italian, would not serve lasagna at the reception. He ended up marrying an Irish woman whose family was okay with serving lasagna at the reception. Oh my God. You gotta give me the fucking lasagna, alright? Yeah, we're not having a fucking wedding without no fucking lasagna, alright? This is the way of my people, okay? We're not getting married, alright? If there's no fucking gabagool there at the wedding, okay? This is non-negotiable, okay? Jesus, man, that's kind of intense. Garlic bread and I guess garlic bread's not on there, but lasagna. But you know what? But here's the thing, though. Why wouldn't they serve lasagna? Why not? Like, what's the big? Is it really that big of a deal to serve lasagna at your wedding? Like, I feel like if you're gonna request, oh yeah, babe, like it's really important to me. It's this family heirloom. My great grandmother, she's on her deathbed, and this is the last thing she thinks she can muster up the strength to do, and we need to let her cook lasagna. Seriously? Lasagna is not on the menu. All right, we're having fish. Okay, it is fish. We're having a pescatarian wedding. All right, that is it. I don't want to hear anything about lasagna. All right? Your grandmother whatever, okay? She can make as many lasagnas as she fucking wants in heaven, okay? I bet that she can make a billion fucking lasagnas in heaven. And you'll probably be there too, because you can imagine whatever you want in heaven, okay? But this is my wedding, and we're not having fucking lasagna, okay? You're lucky I was pushed to being a pescatarian. You're lucky my sister told me that we should do pescatarian wedding, okay? Like, I was this close to doing no food at all, okay? Because we should only consume air as human beings, all right? Even consuming air is selfish. So, yeah, check your ego at the door, please. Yeah, I don't like. What's the big deal? Why no lasagna? Lasagna sounds great. It's literally meat, pasta, and cheese. Like, that sounds good. That sounds really good. If I saw it was lasagna at someone's wedding, I think that'd be like cool. I'd be like, that's different. You know, come on. Like, I've never seen lasagna at a wedding. Reply from Metmerk. This actually seems reasonable to me. It doesn't have to be about lasagna, but about communication, compromise, and treating the groom as an equal partner. It's indicative of what the entire relationship might be like. Yeah, you might have dodged a bullet there, boy. You might have dodged a bullet. Like, that's actually, I'd agree. I'd have to agree. Like, the bigger problem to me is why there wasn't any lasagna. Like, if you're gonna serve, like, I don't even know, like chicken and beef or steak or whatever at a wedding, like, okay, well then why not just serve lasagna? I don't see why. And you can make lasagna with chicken. It doesn't have to be ground beef. Like, come on. I think it's the bigger problem to me is why there was no lasagna there. Next one comes from Southern Pay 9792. One of my friends is engaged and is Catholic. Her husband had to convert, and he had a dream where he was in a Catholic church but not getting married. He was a priest. So he had a vision of becoming a priest, and now the wedding is off. Wow. How the turns have tabled. She spent all that time converting him, and he's like, this is my calling. Listen, babe. I think there was something bigger, this whole Christianity, Catholicism thing that you had me going on. All right? I want to thank you. All right? I can't be your husband, but this is a good thing because I'm devoting my life to Christ. And Christ made you be put in my life so I could discover my true calling of devoting my entire life to Him, our one true Lord and Savior, and God, who art thou in heaven. This is... I booked my circumcision this afternoon, babe. So it's happening. This is happening. He's like, I just wanted you to be Catholic. It's just a moral system. It's just, I just thought it would be fine. You want to marry? Don't cry. Jesus wanted this. And if you think this is bad, then Jesus hates you. If you think this is not, if you don't support me, God doesn't love you. Because I'm the priest here. I'm the prophet. I'm the be all end all. Right? I had a direct vision from Christ. Who's the one here with the direct vision from Christ? Okay? And listen, I know we put a deposit down on the wedding, but I'm a priest now, or I'm going to be, so we don't have money. All right? We don't believe in material objects. So I'm sorry to tell you, but you'll have to cover this one. What is this? How could you do this to me? No, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Can't believe you're not happy that I'm devoting my life to Christ. Yeah, that pulled a real 360. Or a real 180, maybe not a 360. Well, it could have been a 360, I guess. Next one comes from Rottweiler Bridesmaid. The best man said in his speech that he slept with the bride about 2 weeks before the wedding. All hell broke loose. The groom demanded that the marriage be canceled. It took a few days to get the truth out for the groom, and for the groom to finally listen. The best man thought it would be a great prank. The groom was apologetic to the bride, but she didn't forgive him because he believed in others' lies and won't let her talk. Wow. That is insane. The best man said in his speech. Why would you do that? What? Like, why would you? What? What's the motivation? Like, that's not funny. Why would that be funny? Like staging it like it was an actual real thing. That sounds awfully stupid and cruel. It's like, what, bro? Like, I had to check her intentions, bro. What if she did sleep with me? What if she did, though? That's the You can't be mad at me, bro. You can't, bro. What if she slept with me? Okay, Chad, she didn't sleep with you, though. And now you made me divorce her because you made me believe that she did. And now she thinks I'm the biggest asshole in the world. But that's the thing. Dude, you dodged a bullet, though, there, bro. Bro, you definitely dodged a bullet, bro. I just helped you dodge it quicker, bro. She's crazy, bro. She's crazy. No, bro, you're fucking insane for completely lying to everybody, telling everyone that you slept with my wife-to-be when it wasn't even like, what's your, come on, bro. Why would you do that? Nah, bro, it's next one, bro. It's plenty of fish in the sea, you know what they say. So, did you a favor, bro. I'm not even joking, bro. She's not the one, bro. She's straight up not the one. Bro, you met her like 3 times. How would you know? You literally hardly know her. You live on the other side of the country. The only times you've met is on FaceTime. How would you ever know what she was like? Bro, just the vibes, bro. The vibes are off, bro. Vibes are off. So, you know, but like, now these guys are like separated though. Like, she's actually pretty hot though. Could you give me your number, bro? What's her snap? Do you think she needs a rebound, right? So, and who else, bro? Like, honestly, like, she's probably gonna like thank me too, because like I did her a favor as well. So, holy fuck. Next one comes from Zenthor. My friend's former fiance was a nice dude, firefighter, easy to talk to, treated her well, and got her a nice ring. Every now and then the ring would go missing, but he would eventually find it safe and sound. That seems strange. She had a job too, and was giving him thousands of dollars a month to fix up a house that they had bought to live in after they got married. Turns out, dude was living 2 lives, or attempting to at the very least. He's married for 10 plus years and had 2 kids. The engagement ring was his wife's, and he stole it back every now and then to find it for her. There was never a house. He never bought one, and used all the thousands he had been given solely on cocaine. Needless to say, they canceled the wedding. Liz replies and says, stories like this make me wonder what the person's end game is. Like, how long did he think he could keep up this situation? Yeah, like, what's the final goal here? Like, do you think that you're gonna achieve enlightenment, like nirvana, by and being accepted into the kingdom of heaven or something by doing this? Do you think that this is just like someone's gonna pop out with a camera and be like, oh, this whole thing was a prank. We just lived your crazy life. Now we just saw that on reality TV. Your whole life's a reality TV show. So now here's $1 million. Like, where do you see this going? Like, this is only chaos. Chaos breeds chaos. And I really don't see how this is, like, where is the end game? Like, oh yeah, just 2 wives. You know, got 2 wives, 2 kids. You know, well, the other wife is having a couple more kids, but, you know, I do lots of coke. Got to stay up with all those kids. You know, got to be on the ball. You know, really got to be aware, sound and alert. You know what they say. So, yeah, really got to stay on my toes. So lots of coke. Yeah, left coffee a while back. Yeah. But yeah, everything's good. Yeah. Well, I still fixing up that house though. Still, it's a work in progress, right? Am I right? It's it's about the process, right? Yeah, we gotta. In order to stand up, we gotta be kicked down, right? So, do you have any coke, by the way? Next one comes from not sure what the plan is. Neither do I. I was going to be a guest at a wedding and found out it was canceled 2 weeks before the date. The bride found out that the groom had gotten a significant discount on the price of the venue, and she was insanely angry that anything at her wedding would cost less than premium. Keep in mind, this was her dream venue that she had chosen. She was just mad that her fiance was cheap or something. I was never super close to either of them, but the last I heard, they never ended up getting married. This is my dream wedding, and you're telling me you got it at I can't even say. A discount? I can't even. A discount price? How could you do this to me? How could you do this? Weddings. What are my parents going to think? They're going to be like, you guys got this on a discount? This marriage isn't going to last. It's not going to last. It just won't. I could never be with somebody who gets a venue on a discount. You piece of shit. How could you do this? You fucking asshole. 50% off. Well, I'm 50% off this marriage. How about that? I'm gone. Wow. That is insane. I just played out a little soap opera there for you folks. But that's wild. What's wrong with discounts, man? This is entitlement at its finest. All right? You should be just... I don't even think I'll be able to ever afford a wedding. My parents were able to barely afford a wedding. The odds are I'm going to be just probably going down to the courthouse. All right? Just getting a rubber stamp on that. That probably costs enough money as it is. Jesus. Next one comes from Black Fiend. One of my Marines has one that takes the cake. His marriage was canceled because his spouse's parents had a dream that he would become abusive and an addict. She left him because of her parents' dream. He's now a multimillionaire. That's an abusive addict. He's not a multimillionaire. That's an abusive addict? Oh. Well, I mean, that's not... If he's an abusive addict, that's not an absurd reason for calling off a marriage, but it is absurd that her parents had a dream about it. That is, I think maybe they should convert to like Catholicism or something. That feels like a real dream. That feels like some real divine intervention there. There's some real information being conveyed in those dreams. All right, that sounds more like Jesus was like, yeah, let me intervene in this situation. All right, we have a lot of priests. Right, there's a lot. There's not a huge shortage of devout individuals right now. Right, I think this takes the cake. I want to prevent a woman from being abused. So, I think that might have been a hallucination on your part. But this one's the real one that I put some effort into. I'm actually doing some actual good work, instead of leaving my wife. Reply from Tweaking for Jesus. Lots of Jesus in this one. I feel like I've said Jesus like at least 50 times. So my apologies to all those folks who believe that I'm speaking the Lord's name in vain, because partially I guess I would be. But I'm an agnostic, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, my brother-in-law is former military and now a successful businessman worth millions. He's also a controlling asshole. When my in-laws met him, they asked me afterward if he was abusing my sister. There's a history of abusive spouses in their family, and they sniffed out the signs without any background from me. Yes, he is, but she puts up with it for the money and the lifestyle. Wow. We were just talking, me and my roommates are just talking about this the other day, like, people who get married, like, so there's this person that I'm aware of. We know this person. No names here, and we don't know them that well. Okay, it's not like we're tight, but there is a situation I'm aware of people I abstractly know and have heard of. It's not like I'm talking shit or anything, but so this person was recently like dating around after they had broken up with their boyfriend, and they got back together with their boyfriend after dating around for a little bit, like a couple months, and now they're getting married. And it's like, like, I just can't say that is going to be a great foundation for a marriage. Like, if I just had to give my honest opinion on that one, I can't say that's going to be a great. It just doesn't seem like that's built on a lot of trust and mutual sort of thing going on there. Not to talk shit about anyone or gossip about anyone, because these are people, again, that I hardly know. It's just a story I've kind of heard through the grapevine, and I'm just using it as an example. But yeah, like we were talking about people who stay with these partners they have that they're not even fully like committed to. They're just so comfortable. It's because like we were talking about how if you break up with somebody, you probably should never get back together. You know what I mean? It's probably better that you just don't get back together with that person because you broke up already. Like there's a reason why you broke up. There's a reason why the late relationship ended. And if it got to the point where the relationship needed to end, odds are you guys probably aren't going to last in the long run. It's just not going to happen. Relationships that last in the long run don't do stuff like that. So we were just talking about like marrying someone. That's like you're prepared to live your whole life with that person. Like what a waste of a consciousness. Like, what a waste of a life experience. Like, so much happiness. There's been studies on how much of your satisfactoriness in your life comes from your partner, and it's a lot. I don't know if you guys have ever checked out the numbers, but it's really high. Having a good relationship is very high on the list for predictors of having a satisfactory life. It's really fucking high up there. So to think that you wouldn't want to, like, spend someone with to think that you would spend your life with someone and be prepared to spend your life with someone or get married to someone, because trust, divorce is just a whole load of shit that you have to go through, and everyone's never going to end out great for that, is just like to think it's just like okay, what a waste. I would rather be alone than live my life in a miserable relationship. That sounds awful. Next one comes from Mark McZack. They realized after everything was planned, invite sent out, and etc., that they didn't like the date. They moved it to 2025 so there wouldn't be a 4 in their wedding date. What? What? A 4? What's wrong with 4? I like 4. 4 is a good number. Everyone knows the example. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Seems a pretty... What do you have against the number 4? I always hear of lucky numbers. Like everyone's got their lucky numbers, but this sounds like a unlucky number, but like a paranoid number. This sounds like you guys are fucking paranoid about some shit. Holy shit, babe. I just realized our wedding falls on a day with a fucking 4. I can't do this. It's a 4. It's literally 4. You know what that means? It's a 4. It's a literal 4. We are gonna die. This is the sign of the apocalypse. If our wedding happens on a day with a fucking 4, it just can't happen. I thought I'd thought everything out. I went through everything. I checked the dates. I checked the numbers. It's a 4. It can't happen. We cannot allow this to happen. It's like, Jesus, this is a little dramatic, don't you think? The Fuzz Bunny, next one comes from the Fuzz Bunny. The Fuzz Bunny 1. My cousin called it off 3 days in advance because the bride and groom couldn't agree on whether to hyphenate their last names or use his. In retrospect, there was a significant class/culture divide, of which that was merely one symptom. What? I mean, you don't think that you would have had that argument already? Don't you think you guys would have, discussed that, prior to the marriage? You just decided to leave that for the last 3 days? Wouldn't you think, oh, yeah, we've been thinking about getting married for, a year now that we've been engaged. You've never had the conversation. I feel like it's very natural to have the conversation of, oh, what are we going to do with our last names? No, you're not going to have that conversation that just happened 3 days, never came up before. It's every time it came up, it's we'll do it later. We'll do it later. 3 days comes and you're like, I didn't tell you this, but I have a really hard stance on this. This is something that's a deal breaker for me. I'm going to tell you this 3 days before our wedding. So I didn't really want to talk about it before because it's not important, planning and all this stuff. We'll talk about it later. It's not important. But I just remembered now. This is deathly important to me. This is a deal breaker. So if you have a different vision in your mind, then we're done. We're done. We're fucking done. It's not happening. Okay, I can't marry you if you won't take my fucking last name. All right? What? Okay. Next one comes from Mama89Q. My mom was engaged to be married to her high school sweetheart. Let's call him Bob. Bob went to her doorstep 2 weeks before their wedding and told her he had joined the military and wasn't ready for marriage. He flew to Germany the next day. Fast forward 30 years and 2 divorces later, my mom was single with 5 children from 2 marriages. She runs into her old high school sweetheart, Bob. He is also single and recently divorced. They fall in love and have been together ever since. Spoiler alert, Bob is actually his name. Oh, okay. Wait. Absurd reason for canceling their marriage. I guess that's not, well, it's a little crazy to drop that bomb, figuratively, no pun intended, on somebody. Like, it's a little, I know we're about to get married right away, but I'm scared. And you know what I'm not scared of? Bullets, guns, explosions, flying by my head, and dying. Literal painful death where my guts will be spewing out of me. And yeah, so really honestly, basically what you're telling her is that it's scarier to you to marry someone than it is to fucking die. You're more scared of marriage than you are of stepping on a landmine and being obliterated into a vapor. That is, ow. Wow, military 1, marriage 0. Jeez. Ooh. That is a tough one for marriage. Marriage just took a blow. Blow right to the face. Oh, jeez, that's a knockout. Holy crap. Oh my God, imagine how insulting that would be. I can't believe they got back. I mean, it's cool they got back together, but I mean, this is kind of a cool full circle story, but he's got a bit of an asshole for that. Just a bit of an asshole. If you think about it. Watching them listen to this podcast and be like, never thought about it that way. Were you scared to marry me? Listen, it wasn't like that. It was at the time. It's just, you son of a bitch. Next one comes from Dean C 1980. Because the man was gay, and she was just a test to see if he could love a girl. She was heartbroken, but had her suspicions about him. That is awful. That's terrible. Yeah, we had to get married because I really needed to know if I was gay. What about all the times we, had sex? You didn't think in one of those times that you were like, you know what? I don't fuck with this. I don't really like this. I think I like men better than this. You know what, in the one or hundreds of times we've had sex, you never thought about that once, maybe? That you thought it was completely overtly disgusting and that you would rather be with a man? That didn't cross your mind once? Okay? Like, listen, I understand it's important to be sympathetic about, like, the homosexual dilemma. Because obviously it's not easy to come out of the closet or even to admit to oneself that they're gay. But you cannot do that at the expense of someone else. You can still be gay and be a fucking asshole. Like that, you can't do that. That reminds me of the show Grace and Frankie, where the guys, and so if you don't know the show, I guess I'm going to spoil the premise for you. I mean, you find out in like the first episode, but basically these 2 older women, one of them being played by Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda's awesome. Divorced their husbands in their 70s, when they're in their 70s, because their husbands come out as gay, and that they were gay with each other, that they were boyfriends for, and cheating on them the whole time, and they were business partners the whole time that they were married. Like, it was like, okay, there's no problem being gay, but you can't marry your wife for 40, 50 years, and then you drop a massive fucking bomb on the hour gay and I've been cheating on you this whole time. That's not cheating. It's not okay. Okay. It's just not, it is not in any realm. Okay. But it's interesting because in the dynamic of the show, like, yeah, I mean, obviously I would give someone more leeway because they were gay than I would if they were straight, because it's like, okay, being gay has all these, difficulties, and there's difficulties admitting these sorts of things, and even to oneself, and obviously there's baggage attached with sorts of stuff like that, and whatever else. But like, you still can't cheat on someone. It's still not good. Why didn't you just say I'm cheating on you with a woman and just broke up with her? Like, oh God, yeah, it's tough. But using someone as a means to an end is usually, if you look at most of what people have said for most of the history of all of humankind, using someone for a means to an end is generally not seen as something that is something you should do. We should probably avoid doing that, using people as a mere object of your goals. Next one comes from Chickadee12345. A friend of mine dated a guy for 8 years. They were young. It started in high school. Had the wedding all planned and mostly paid for. A month before the wedding, she found him stealing her money and gambling with it. She ended up selling her dress on eBay, gave the ring back to his best friend, who it turns out paid for it, then eventually married the best friend. They are still happily married 10 plus years later with a cute little boy. Edit. Everyone keeps asking. No. They did not use the original ring. I believe they sold it. She wore the ring for a while before they were supposed to get married, so there was a lot of bad feelings when he stabbed her in the back. No way I would, or probably any woman out there would want to continue wearing that. Yeah, that seems obvious. You wouldn't just reuse the ring. You could just trade it in for a different ring. If you wanted to keep the ring, I'd be like, that's fucking weird. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. Just let go. You gotta let this one go. How did she not know he had a gambling problem? He has no money. We never go out. He never has any money. And then he'll tell me he'll pay for something, and then it always ends up that I pay for it. And every once in a while, like if we just slip by a casino, he just disappears. He says he has to go to the bathroom, and then I don't see him for a couple hours. Sometimes even the rest of the day. Yeah. And I just go home. I'm like, oh, are you okay in there? Just not a great stomach day for me, babe. She's fucking on the craps table. Oh, my God. Next one comes from OKJob7213. Bride ended up getting gangbanged at her bachelorette party by strippers. One of the bridesmaids filmed it and put it online. The bride's grandpa found it and told the groom. What? This is no way this is a real story. How is that even what? You don't, what? The grandpa found it? Everywhere. Salidra replies and says, every word of that story just gets trashier as you go. Oh, yeah. Someone, Dronmiek, replied and said, this is like from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, when the woman was like, yeah, and then he took my naked pictures and posted them online. And then Mac's character's like, naked pictures? Online? That's disgusting. Oh my God. Where would he post those? She's like, oh, one of those ex-girlfriend porno sites. Oh, one of those disgusting ex-girlfriend porno sites. But there's so many of them. Which one? Which one did he post them on? Yeah, that's disgusting. Which website? Where would a gentleman find a website like that? That's awful. Something needs to be done about a website like that. Where would I find it? What's it called? Oh, it's so funny. Next one comes from Meet Me by the Beans. Family member, very nitpicky, left her husband after 2 months of marriage for constantly leaving his socks on the floor. To this day, talks about what an amazing man and partner he was. If only he would put his dirty socks in the hamper instead of the floor. What? She just never told him about this either. Just expected him to pick up the dirty socks and one day was just like, I'm leaving you. What? Why? You should know. You should really know. Don't you know, Harold? The disgusting dirty socks on the floor. How long did you think I was going to put up with that? You never even said anything. You never told me that was a problem. You literally never said that. You never said anything about that once. At all. We never had a conversation about this. This was never a topic. You never said. You never even seemed annoyed. Once. You picked them up and then you would just come to bed and just everything was normal. You wouldn't even seem mad. Wow, you clearly don't know enough about women, Harold. Okay? This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I don't, something about this doesn't seem like that's relevant. Doesn't seem like women have anything to do with it. I think that I don't think any of your friends would do this. I think this is just you. I think this is a you problem. I don't know. I'm leaving you. Point is, I'm leaving you. So me problem, whether it's a woman thing, I don't really know. But yeah, you're left. You're alone now. Wow. Gonna cop out on that. Edit. I wrote this at work, so I didn't put any detail in and figured I should add it. Her husband, now ex, did all the cleaning, cooking, and paid all the bills. No way. They didn't have any kids either. They're both child-free. He would take his socks off when he got into bed at night, throw them on the floor, and in the morning he would pick them up and wash them with the other clothes. He wasn't messy or rude. She actually was a bit emotionally abusive to him. She wasn't... Yeah, okay. This sounds exactly like the skit that I was doing. She's a narcissist and a nasty person in general. We were surprised they even got together because he was so nice and she had always been mean-spirited. He treated her like a princess, too. I only add this because I didn't want people getting the wrong impression about him, as he didn't deserve an ounce of what he got. Look at that. My skit was on the money. She tried to cop out by just saying, oh, it's you can't read women. No. This is a you thing, girl, all right? This is a you thing. Next one comes from my brother. Oh, sorry. Next one comes from Shuggy Light, something? I don't know. My brother called it off the morning of the wedding. She was incredibly controlling, faked a pregnancy, and didn't want to meet any of his family, even though she lived a mile away. Her mother got her to cancel the reception hall a week before because she wanted it at her house. Loads of people dropped out, and my brother felt the pressure. I thank the universe that he called it off. I doubt I would have seen him again. Wish he didn't do it on the day, though. The morning of the wedding was called off. Yeah. Well, it's just... If you're with someone who's like that, you don't think you would have noticed that beforehand? Like you don't think you would have been like, she wouldn't have done some behavior that would have made you think, oh, this girl's crazy. She's crazy. She does whatever her mom says immediately. She eats the food her mom tells her to eat. It's just, she is incredibly controlling, highly narcissistic, but that's everyone. Right. Everyone's like that. Everyone's got a little bit of controllingness, manipulating. When was the last time you haven't been gaslit by your girlfriend or friends or, parents for that matter, siblings? Like, everyone does that. No, everyone doesn't do that. I don't think everyone does that. I think that's who you're describing as an insane person. I think you're describing someone who is has got some mental problems there, some maybe personality disorder. It's peeking through a little bit there, So don't think that's not a normal thing. Next one comes from Big Mish. My uncle and ex-aunt called off the wedding because God told them to wait a month before the wedding. They lived across the country, so my parents had to fly with 3 children under 10 years old, and tickets were non-refundable. My uncle called my dad with the new date about 6 months after the original date. My mom called him later, and when he asked if we would be coming to the wedding, she said that she spoke to God and he told her to bring her kids to Disneyland instead. My parents still joke about it today, and my uncle divorced that wife a year or 2 later. Happy ending, though. He married his best friend about a decade later, and they are truly perfect for each other. She is really a wonderful woman, and we couldn't be happier for them. Oh, my God. Yeah, well, God told me that canceling plans on people at last minute, something as big as a wedding, is a really shit thing to do. So I just decided to listen to what God told me, and what God told me was that I should take my kids to Disneyland instead. Next one comes from Marwal. They did nothing. They picked a date, sent mails with it to invite people, and then did nothing until a week before the date. Of course, they could not rent the venue they wanted, nor find another one. They couldn't find a caterer, dresses, etc. on time. But also, legally, they couldn't get married in such a short notice. So they canceled the wedding and will get married later. It's been 5 years. They're still not married. Aloha Mora FTW replies and says, kind of sounds like they're made for each other, LOL. Yeah, it actually sounds, that sounds accurate. That sounds, that does sound accurate to, I believe that. Just, there's nothing wrong with being a common law spouse. No one says you have to get married. Common law is fine. All right, well, let's read one more off here. From Paperwork Master. One of the most absurd reasons I've heard of someone canceling their marriage was because the groom insisted on wearing a costume from his favorite superhero movie to the wedding. What? The bride had envisioned a traditional, elegant wedding, but the groom was adamant about walking down the aisle dressed as a fictional character. The disagreement over the costume led to such a heated argument that they eventually called off the wedding entirely. Babe, you don't understand. Superman is literally the savior of the universe, okay? I want to protect you. It's going to be a big thing. It's going to be like a metaphorical thing. Like, I'm Superman. I got big muscles, and I'm going to protect you like I protect the universe and the earth. And come on, babe. You can't see the difference? Come on. Like, it's just, I think you're being unreasonable about this. All right? It's the tights look great on me. Okay, so what? I've got a little bit of a beer belly. It doesn't matter. I'm been stressed. It's fine. It's not going to look bad. It's just a spandex costume. And then the makeup and the face paint and the accessories and the other characters will be stopping by. We're going to do a choreographed little thing. It's going to be sick. It's going to be cool, babe. Come on. Just open your mind. You're being really close-minded right now, babe. You're being really close-minded. Like, you even told me that you wanted me to be your hero. So I think this is like your fault, really, because now you're backtracking on what you said. You said you wanted a hero. I'm your hero. So I'm Superman. All right, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Reddit Asks Us podcast. The podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I'm your host, Luke Dick. Remember, if you want to reply to this week's episode, you can go to Spotify and click the description of the episode. And below the description, you will see a white icon that says reply. And you will be notified when your response is published. I can't wait to be back again here with y'all for another week's episode. Thank you all so much for listening. Peace out. Love you. Bye.